Welcome back to the Hippie Cave. Hello, I'm Gino Mateo, back here again. Today I wanted to talk to you about cheap guitars, because way too much emphasis is put on having a nice guitar. The tone is all in your freaking hands anyway, okay? So, what I want to do is talk about cheap guitars. We can't all have one of these. I am blessed enough to have one of these. This is a Gibson from the 60s that I'm in love with, and I've been using it forever, and I always say it's named Mama, and she's a sweet old lady. She was in the Golden Girls for 3 years. And I love this guitar more than anything. But I tour a lot. I'm on the road about 8 months a year, roughly. Okay? Now, I am petrified to take this to Europe. So, what do? I buy one of these. Now, this is an Epiphone 335 Pro. This is a limited run, I think it's limited, that Epiphone did last year. Now, it comes with a stop tailpiece, but I like trapeze tailpieces myself, because that's what I'm used to with my main 335. So I just put a trapeze tailpiece on here. It costs, $20 to order one on Amazon and change it yourself. All it is 3 screws right there. It's boneheaded simple. Anyone can do it. And then I had these 2 holes here. And back in the day when they would have 335s with Bigsby's on them, when they would have a, I don't know exactly what they did, but I know that when there wasn't a Bigsby, but there are still holes there, they'd put this little plate that says custom made on there. So basically, they could call it a Bigsby cover. So I went on Amazon, I bought a Bigsby cover and just covered up those 2 holes. If I was to pull this off of here, you'd see 2 holes where the old stop tailpiece was. Anyway, I got this guitar for $350 out the door. It has push-pull coil tapping pickups. I'm almost positive these come with burst buckers, because I've A-B'd these with Gibson burst bucker pickups, and I can't feel or tell a difference, even at high volumes. I've used this thing all over the world. I just got back from Poland and Switzerland and Belgium the last couple months, and I used it everywhere, and I didn't miss my 65 at all. I didn't miss my Gibson. So the only difference between this and the Dot is I think that it has block inlay, which is quite beautiful. I always like block inlay; it just looks nice. And then Kluson tuners. I think it's Kluson. So I'm just gonna play a little bit so you can kind of hear how it sounds. It's pull pickups. So these are, I don't know if they're still exclusively sold through Guitar Center, but that's where I got this one. I got it for, like I said, $350 out the door. And I love it. It's awesome. But if let's say you want to spend even less money for a guitar that is a good guitar. Now, I personally don't like new guitars. They always feel stiff and sterile to me. I like a guitar that's been lived in a little bit. I like to beat my own guitars up, but I do like the way a guitar feels once it's been lived in a little bit. I don't like new car smell on guitars. So, a couple days ago I picked this up. This is a piece of crap Les Paul copy from the 70s. It's made by a company called Lotus. Some of the tuning machines don't match. I'll replace those. It's a bolt-on neck. It's a piece of junk. It's a plywood guitar, but it sounds good, and it works. And if it works, it works. And again, it's all in your hands anyway. This is what is called a lawsuit guitar. And what a lawsuit guitar is there were a lot of Japanese companies in the 70s that were making really close to damn near identical copies of famous guitars, Fenders, Gibsons, etc. And if you go on eBay and type in lawsuit guitar, you'll see a slew of really, really amazing guitars. This is a piece of junk, but it's also a phenomenal instrument. It's a great guitar. If you're one of these guys that wants a brand name and wants their, wants everything to be shiny and pretty and say Gibson custom shop, this ain't your video. This video is for a dude who wants a good sound for no money, for just to get out there and play and be greasy. So I picked this guitar up. I traded it for 3 guitar pedals that I never use ever. So essentially it was a free guitar in that sense. So about, I want to say a few years ago, lawsuit guitars on eBay were very cheap, incredibly cheap, $200-300 maybe. That's on the high end for some of them. Like they would have these companies like Hondo and other stuff, and where the guitars were just, thrown together, and the electronics are normally pretty awful. So once you replace them, you have basically a Gibson, for all intents and purposes. But now, people caught wind of how good these lawsuit guitars are. So now you'll see them for as much as $1,200-1,300 on eBay. So if you're looking for a lawsuit guitar now, unless you really hunt, you kind of miss the boat as far as the cheap price. So I just saw them skyrocket in the last 3 or 4 years. But the cool thing about this guitar and most lawsuit guitars is in the neck position. I'll play a little bit. In the neck position, it sounds like normal. Sounds fine. Bridge position. Sounds like a bridge position. The middle position is a lot of fun. Because on this particular guitar, and a lot I've found with lawsuit guitars, because I've owned dozens of them over the years, a lot of them have the middle position out of phase. So it sounds like this. You hear that? How it kind of sounds almost like a wah pedal that's half open. So I'm not used to this guitar yet. But other great thing about lawsuit guitars is you can modify them however you want, because they're not worth anything unless you get a really nice one, and people think that's worth a lot of money. So this one, I already on Amazon. I already bought the trapeze for this. I'm going to put a trapeze on this and the custom plate, whatever, just because I like a trapeze tailpiece. I just always have. It just feels right to me. And I also changed the strap pin so it sits back here like a 335 or an SG, because when they're up here on the front like a Strat or a Les Paul, they're just uncomfortable. I like it back here. I like it to sit out like a 335. It's just more comfortable. So that's basically the idea with a lawsuit guitars. You get a really, really good guitar for very little money. And in some of them you can find dirt cheap, like this one. If they have a bolt-on neck, especially, it's a really cheap instrument. And they sound fine. They're good. If you have a problem with bolt-on neck, don't play a Strat or a Tele, because they all have bolt-on necks, Now remember, with guitars, vanity is a waste of time. Because, again, it's all in your hands. A guy could have the best 335 on the planet, but unless he's got the touch and the feel, he's not going to make that thing talk. He's not going to make it sing. So, I'm Gino Mateo, signing off from the Hippie Cave. Hope you have a good one, and we'll see you again soon.